Hello everyone, we are going to talk briefly about the magnetic switch. So a magnetic switch is a normally open, meaning it's not completing the circuit, nothing is flowing, normally open circuit. It's activated or closed or completed when you place it near a magnet. This is really useful for checking for open doors, open drawers, open cabinets, whether your refrigerator is open. Basically anytime you need to essentially wirelessly, quote wirelessly, be able to access if a door or something like that is closed or not. You can use this little magnet, and it basically is a simple way to do that. These are often called a reed switch, so that's another term you might hear. Essentially how reed switches work is they have a small component in there. You can see there's some metal in there, and so when the magnet is brought nearby, these two strips are aligned, completing the circuit. That's how they are able to interact wirelessly. Wiring is pretty straightforward. You connect one of the two wires. You have it go to a 3.3 volt source with a 10K resistor, pull-up resistor, just like you would use with a button. You also then connect the same row to the argon digital input pin. The other wire you connect to ground. The switch is not polarized, so feel free to use any orientation that you want. It won't make a difference. When you're trying to read the signal, though, an important distinction to make is that high is going to be open. So high means nothing is, there's no circuit completed, a magnet is present. Low is going to mean the magnet is present. This is what an example would look like. Here you can see that there is one pin, one wire here, connected to ground, like this. And then the other pin, you can see that it makes two connections. One is the 10K resistor to power, and also directly to the digital input pin. One last thing to say about this. These wires, when you examine them, you'll see that they're very, very thin relative to the breadboard wires we typically use. They're actually braided wires. If you look, it's a bunch of smaller wires braided together. If you wish, if you're comfortable with this, you can put a little bit of solder, a little bit is the key, a little bit of solder on the end to keep them together. However, for most of us, I don't expect that we'll do that. So what you want to do is just make sure that you try to braid them together, just twist them in the direction they want to go, and then kind of gently insert them into the breadboard pin. The thing to note is that if you find that the particular hole is very tight, try to kind of pry it open a bit, perhaps with another heavy duty wire we have, kind of stretch it out. Just be gentle with it because the wires are a little more fragile. They're not permanently good for breadboard installation, but if you're wiring them to a door or something, you would use different sorts of wires. So that's how that would work.